Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we'll see what is a logic controller, types of logic controller, how to create a logic controller, and practical demonstration to understand different configuration settings of a logic controller. So let's get started. The different logic controllers available in JMeter is displayed in this image. As the name says controller, the logic controller is used to control samplers, or you can say to control the requests. Logic controller handles the order of processing of request in a thread, and it controls when and how to send a request to a web server. To create a logic controller, you have to right click on thread group, click on add, click on logic controller, and select any of the logic controllers as per your requirement to create a particular logic controller. A relationship between a test plan, thread group, and logic controllers can be understood with the help of this diagram. Test plan is the parent element inside which we have thread groups, and logic controllers are present inside a thread group. This was about controllers in general. Now let us see few of the use cases of some frequently used logic controllers. First, let us see the use of if controller. So I have this test plan in which I have added one variable, user defined variable by name Pathology, and I have specified the value of that variable as 105. I have this thread group. In thread group I have added if controller, and I've also specified one condition in this if controller which says if the value of the variable Pathology it is greater than 100, then HTTP request 1 should get executed, otherwise HTTP request 2 will get executed. So let us run this thread group and see what happens. Right now the value of the variable Pathology it is 105, which is actually greater than 100, so both the requests should get executed. So you can see HTTP request 1 and HTTP request 2, both the requests got executed. Now let me change the value of that variable to 90. So now 90 it is less than 100. So basically this condition will get failed and only HTTP request 2 will get executed. So as you can see now only HTTP request 2 got executed because the value of Pathology was 90, which is actually less than 100. It is not greater than 100, and that is the reason this condition was false and HTTP request 1 didn't got executed and HTTP request 2 got executed because it was outside that if controller. So this was about if controller. In the second thread group, I've added one transaction controller and there are two APIs been added into it. The configuration settings of transaction controller is that it has one generate parent sample checkbox and one include duration of timer and pre-post processor in generate sample. So by default this generate parent sample checkbox is unchecked, which means you will get individual response time of both these APIs. If you check this generate parent sample, then what will happen? You will get a combined response time of both these APIs in your run. So let me run this thread group to show you both the cases. So now I have ticked this generate parent sample, which means I should get a combined response time. So now you can see the response time of API 1 and response time API 2 is added and it is being shown over here 2491. If I uncheck this and then run the same thread group, then I get individual response time of both the APIs. So this was the difference between generate parent sample. By default, this include checkbox is unchecked, which means additional duration of timer and processors will not be added into your response time. If you check this checkbox, then the duration of timer and processor will be added to your response time. So let me comment this. The third controller is loop controller, in which I have added these two APIs. In configuration settings, there are two options. Either you can do infinite loop of these two APIs, or you can specify a particular number, say 10, and accordingly these two APIs will get executed. So if I have specified 10 over here, these two APIs will get executed for 10 times. So it works as such that if in my thread group I have specified 1 and in my loop controller I have specified 10, so anything above this loop controller it will get execute one time, and anything below this loop controller will get execute one time. And my loop controller, as I have specified 10 over here, it will get executed 10 times. So this is the use of loop controller. So if you are having something in your script and you want to execute for a defined number of times, so you can use a loop controller in your script. Once only controller is basically used wherein you want something in your script to be executed only once throughout your load test, and it is basically used in single login logout scenarios wherein you want to log in your virtual user one time, log out one time, and do the remaining transactions multiple times. So in that case you can use once only controller. In configuration settings of once only controller, you can specify name of that controller and any comments as per your requirements you can add over here. In recording controller basically does not handles or controls the execution of your request. It just captures the request while you are recording through a proxy. So recording controller is just used for recording the samplers, or you can say recording the request while doing proxy recording. Apart from that, it does not have any control over the execution of APIs contained inside it. In runtime controller, there is an option to specify number of seconds until which you want to run this APIs, API 1 and 2. So if I specify 100 over here, these two APIs will get execute for a duration of 100 seconds. So that is the use of this runtime controller. So this was about logic controller. In our next video, we'll see about samplers in detail. Thank you.